Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Brewers TV is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's a sunny but chilly Saturday afternoon in Kansas City, Missouri, and a day later than anticipated, the Brewers ready for their first road game of 2026. It's a doubleheader against Kansas City today, and Chad Patrick gets the ball for the Crew. Luinder Avila, just up from the minor leagues, will make his first career start for Kansas City. Hi, everybody. Josh Mauer in for Jeff Levering this afternoon. Jeff is under the weather. We hope you feel much better soon, buddy. Vinny Rotino, of course, though, alongside, helped to shepherd us through the broadcast. It's great to be with you, buddy. What a start for the Brewers. 5-1 opening homestand. They've had a couple of days off to sit on that great record, but they did everything very well in the opening homestand.
They did. First and foremost, great to be with you today, Josh. We're going to have a lot of fun today up here in the booth. But yes, what a start by this Milwaukee Brewers team, and they're doing it on every facet of the game. 7.5 runs per game. That's first in baseball. How about that run differential? Plus 28. Remember last year to the slow start, they were minus 34 through 4 games, so they're now plus 28. Flipping the script this season, that OPS, second in baseball. They're hitting with runners in scoring position. How about that team ERA at 2.83? Getting it done from the starters and from that bullpen group. And by the way, they haven't made an error yet. They've also stole 15 bases, the franchise record through the first 6 games. So they're doing it in all facets, just kind of continuing what they did last year.
It really feels like 2025 all over again. Well, Chad Patrick, as mentioned, gets the ball for the Crew here in their first road game of the season. For more on him, let's go down to Sophia Minard. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, guys. Yeah, Chad Patrick hoping to continue to build off of what was a great rookie season for him. He pitched so well, took advantage of every opportunity up and down with the team 4 different times, and of course put together a terrific postseason. Became one of the most reliable arms for the Brewers coming out of that bullpen in the postseason and delivered some huge innings. Here's a look at his numbers last season. In 27 games, 23 starts, a 353 earned run average. In the postseason, he was even better. Locked it down. Just a 2 earned run average in 6 games. Made his season debut Saturday against the White Sox, the second game of the season, and he pitched really well. Pitched into the 5th, gave up just 1 earned run, and that was a solo home run. Now, the adjustments will continue for him, right, in terms of how he continues to improve his arsenal and his execution. Here's what Chad had to say.
I thought it was a really good, first year, just from my perspective of things. There's a lot of excitement that went into last year, and I think that this year could be even more exciting. Nothing's guaranteed, obviously, but I think of how I came in last year is meant like with the same mentality of doing the same thing this year.
Too at Kauffman Stadium. Should be a lot of fun between the Brewers and the Royals. They went 5-1 on the homestand. Now they get an opportunity to continue that success here on the road. We've got first pitch and lineups coming up next.
Big leaps, new chapters. We're here for it. Banking solutions that fit your goals, support when it matters, and a different approach designed to power your next move. Different approach, better results. That's banking the Wintrust way.
Yes, we've won the largest personal injury verdict in state history, as well as the largest product liability verdict in state history. But you don't have to be involved in one of the largest cases in history to call us. Because the most important case in the world is when something happens to you.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is presented by your Wisconsin Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Freighted and the Medical College of Wisconsin. And by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Getting ready for the first of two here this afternoon at the K. One of the oldest ballparks in Major League Baseball, opened in the early 70s. Kauffman Stadium, the site. The Brewers ready for their first road game of 2026. It's going to be a long day of baseball here in Kansas City. Pat Murphy and the Brewers coming off of that opening 5-1 homestand. They have not played since Wednesday afternoon. Long time in between action as they get ready here for a Saturday matinee. And here's the starting lineup presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. You can see Terang, who has been in the leadoff spot for every game this season, again starts things off. Rengifo, Contreras, Yelich in the cleanup spot. Garrett Mitchell, Jake Bowers, and Sal Frelick. That is 4 left-handed hitters in a row with Brandon Lockridge and David Hamilton rounding out the 9, and they will all face Luinder Avila for Kansas City, Vinny.
Yeah, good-looking 24-year-old, number 9 prospect for the Kansas City Royals. 6'3", 195 pounds, can really rush it up there. 96, 97 with the fastball, gets ground balls, gets good extension down the mound. They really like this kid. He's making his first bullpen. He was down in AAA, and now they're calling on him to make this first start of this doubleheader today. This is a good one for the Royals.
And now here's a look at the defense behind Avila for Kansas City.
Yeah, former Brewer and friendly face Isaac Collins playing left. Kyle Isbell in center, the Gold Glove finalist. Jack Caglione, drafted just a couple of years ago in right. Around the infield, Michael Garcia, Gold Glover. Bobby Witt, also a Gold Glover at short. Nick Lofton at second. Vinny Pasquantino, the Pasquatch, at first. And Salvador Perez, the future Hall of Famer, behind the dish for the Royals.
Salvador Perez, one of the great catchers in the sport for a couple of decades now.
Yeah, they're looking really solid up the middle defensively, especially on the left side of that infield as well. Bobby Witt, one of the franchise players for the Royals and one of the best players in baseball.
Kansas City comes in with an even 500 record. 3-3. Just won their first home series before the Brewers got here against the Minnesota Twins, 2 out of 3. Yeah, Bryce Terang, who has been hot to trot to start the 2026 season to get this series finally underway. First pitch presented by Aurora Healthcare. And Avila ready to bring it. Away we go.
That's what you're going to see from Avila. He's got a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. That 4-seamer at 96, but watch him to utilize that 2-seam fastball, try and get ground balls. There it was right there, the sinker.
Avila, one of the top 10 prospects still in the Royals organization. He's a rookie, even though he pitched 13 games in relief this season ago.
It's just 33 days of Major League service time so far, so you have to accrue 45 consecutive days in order to not be considered a rookie and to lose your prospect status, in case you were wondering.
2-2 on Terang, who has hit safely in each of the first 6 games of this season. Well, the reason that Avila is up to make this, Michael Wacha came down with an illness. He got scratched yesterday. And Terang stays alive to begin the ball game. This would have been Wacha's turn in the rotation, the veteran who we've seen quite a bit over the years. Instead, the Brewers getting Avila, and Vinny, it's probably not going to be a very long start.
Yeah, just 3 innings last time out, his first start down in Omaha. So they were looking to stretch him out. They were wondering whether or not he was going to make the rotation, but did not.
Outside corner, 96. And that's how it begins for Avila in Kansas City. Perfect pitch. And 1 away here in the first.
That tough pitch right on the edge against Bryce Terang. And again, when you read it out of the hand, you're thinking that it's going to have that 2-seam action because that is kind of his bread and butter. But that one stayed straight as it was the 4-seamer.
So now it's Luis Rengifo hitting second on the card today for Pat Murphy. Well, the reason that last night's game got postponed, there was a threat of some serious storms. In fact, there were some tornado warnings in the area. Into left center field, Isaac Collins over into the gap, can't get it. Rengifo on his way to second base, and he's the first base runner of the afternoon. It's a 1-out double. Opposite way for Luis Rengifo.
Just an excellent piece of hitting right here from Luis Rengifo, who's had a lot of hard luck so far, been hitting the ball right on the screws so far this season. He hasn't been able to find a ton of holes. This one, he does find a hole. Isaac Collins not able to get over there. Kyle Isbell cuts it off, but not before Luis Rengifo cruises into second base with a double.
First extra base hit as a Brewer for Rengifo. Sets the table for Contreras. Williams been in the lineup for all 7 games to start this season, and nothing different from previous years, Vinny. He's caught 6 of the 7 games.
Gonna have to rip the jersey off him not to get behind the dish.
2-0. We'll see if he catches both games of a doubleheader today.
I bet he's gonna fight for it.
These are the spots where he is best, with runners in scoring position. 2-0. It's a heavy two-seamer, isn't it?
You know, and especially if he's landing it at the bottom of the zone, the Brewers are going to have to honor that pitch, and they're going to have to just make sure that that curveball, that is a weapon for him, that they see that pitch up, not chase it below the zone.
Checking in behind Rengifo, able to get in safely with the dive. I was talking about the weather yesterday. It actually ended up not being a terrible night. It rained a little bit on and off. But the Royals have had so much weather come through in the opening homestand. 3-1.
And that game 2 against the Twins, they battled through fog and all kinds of nasty weather. Look at the flags and even the fountains.
We've got a challenge here of that ball call. So our first ABS of the day.
Royals have 1 challenge remaining. It is a ball.
Salvi Perez loses that challenge.
That's the first time he's lost a challenge this season. He's been on the money with those challenges.
ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. So the hitter's count holds for William Contreras. Ball 4. 2 on and 1 out for the Crew in the first inning. Well, Vinny, your Miller time game plan for this afternoon. Game 1 for the Brewers. What's the plan of attack?
Well, definitely with Chad Patrick, we're going to talk about him. He's got to get a feel for that curveball, but then contrarily for facing Luinder here, Avila, he's got to throw the curveball for strikes. You cannot chase that pitch down below the zone. Last year, hitters were just 2 for 20 against that pitch when offering against it. It spins a ton, up to 3,000 RPM spin rate on that curveball. It's a good one. It's a top to bottom breaker. Have to make sure that it's up.
1-0 on Christian Yelich in an RBI spot. Get out of play. When you say 3,000 RPM, can you put that in perspective for us? Like what would a normal one be?
Yeah, usually a good curveball around an average curveball 2,200, 2,400 RPMs. Whenever you get into the 3,000 range, that means the guy can really spin it. There it is right there. That's a good take from Yelly.
2-1 the count. So if you're spinning it more than a normal curveball, what advantage does that give you as a pitcher?
You're just going to have more break to it. It's going to have more movement to it just in general, right? Because it's just spinning more. You know, Ben Sheets used to have a curveball, we would say, that you could hear it spin, come hissing in there.
And he swings through the 97-mile-an-hour two-seamer. 2-2 on Yelich. Great start to the season for Christian at 381. He's already driven in 7. And a couple of ducks on the pond in the opening inning today. Out of play, it remains 2-2.
You know, Yelly, just even though he's got some results so far early on the season, he just looks at times just a tick off with that timing. Yet he is still doing a good job of punishing mistakes. Let's see if he can get a mistake right here against Luinder Avila.
Garrett Mitchell waits next. On the ground towards second base. Not a double play ball. Lofton gets the out at second. No relay made by Bobby Witt Jr. They'll be on the corners with 2 out. Just not hit hard enough for the Royals to get 2 on a runner like Christian Yelich.
Too fast. Christian Yelich able to keep the inning going here, first and third. Look for Yelly to kind of pick his spot right here and maybe be on the move. Avila has not had a lot of success in holding runners. It's about a 1-4 to the plate. Anything over a 1-3-5, you're going to want to look to go and steal a base against a pitcher.
2-out RBI chance for Garrett Mitchell. Took the curveball for a strike. .286 in his first 5 games of the season for Garrett. Finally healthy and contributing. 5 runs batted in 5 games played. Into the screen.
And probably most importantly, Josh, is he's playing a really solid center field as well. Go and get him with the best of them.
Well, these are the counts where Garrett has been susceptible to high, hard ones. And with the fastball that Avila possesses, Vinny, you figure they may go upstairs.
Yeah, it's either up with the heater or down below the zone with the curveball. Let's see what they give him.
0-2. They went up, and Garrett equal to the task.
Hey, you see this kid's got a great arm. He can reach back and grab that 98. He's got it in the tank. Yeah, they rave about this kid. Avila. The one thing that maybe is a little bit of a bugaboo for him at times is he does scatter balls. Saw that he did walk William Contreras.
0-2, it remains on Mitchell. There goes the runner on ball 1, and Perez will not throw through. Now in behind Yelich. He is safe. Just barely able to get back. It was a heady play there by the veteran Salvador Perez.
And maybe even a more heady play by Christian Yelich, knowing he's going to be dead to rights. Didn't get a great jump. And you're right, he throws behind Yelly, but not able to get the tag down on him in time as Pasquantino.
Was he trying to get in a rundown there? We can talk about that as Mitchell takes the curveball. It's 2-2. Maybe he was trying to get in a rundown and allow Rengifo to come in through the back door.
Yeah, could have been a set play, especially with 2 strikes on the hitter and Garrett Mitchell. Could have been a set play that Pat Murphy was implementing there with 2 outs, 2 strikes.
Brewers like that play. Safe at first.
They do, and think about it, if you are out, if you do trade an out for a run right there, remember the hitter can then start over in an at-bat, right? With 2 strikes, major league average, batting average, over the history of the game is around 180 with 2 strikes. So you're going to get a free at-bat, kind of reset an at-bat for Garrett Mitchell the next inning if you trade an out for a run there.
Now he's worked the count even. Yelich is running again on a fly ball into deep center. Isbell on the track. Isbell watching it sail. It's off the wall. 2 runs will score, and Garrett Mitchell delivers with 2 out in the first. 2-run double, 2-0 Milwaukee.
Oh, what a shot right here by Garrett Mitchell, battling an at-bat. Gets down 0-2, works the count back to 2-2, gets this 97-mile-per-hour fastball where he can handle it. Nice and short, compact stroke right there. Barrels it up into center field, off the wall, and 2 runs, able to score easily. You can see Yelich thought it was gone. He's able to jog home easily.
Just missed getting out. Boy, the wind is really helping a ball hit in the air. And now Bauers fouls pitch number 1 back into the screen.
Yeah, I got to imagine anything to center, right center is going to be howling out. Not so much to left as it's blowing across.
Garrett Mitchell has already driven in 7 runs this season. Now Bauers into shallow center. Kyle Isbell waiting. And the inning is over, but the Brewers strike first. 2 out, 2-run double by Garrett Mitchell.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
Brewers TV is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. 2-0 Milwaukee as Kansas City comes to bat for the first time, and their manager Matt Quattrero in his 4th season. Here's the Potawatomi Sportsbook lineup for the Royals. And some serious thump at the top with Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino as well. And the veteran Salvador Perez. Chad Patrick, a week in between his first and second starts of the season for the Brewers. You saw what he did against the White Sox last Saturday.
He pitched a week ago Saturday, game 2 of the season against the White Sox. He threw just 74 pitches in just 4 1/3 innings of work. Gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 punch. Did give up a home run to Murakami. But last year, just exceptional job of Chad Patrick limiting opportunities for opposing teams. Opponent batting average with runners in scoring position, just 172 last year. That's kind of his MO. He makes big pitches in big spots. Let's see if he can get through this tough Royals lineup here today.
Especially the top part of it, as I mentioned. And this guy, Michael Garcia, has turned into one of the better hitters in baseball last year, but puts that one on the ground right to Terang. A good start for Patrick. Let's take a look at the Brewers defense behind Chad.
Brought to you by Landmark Credit Union. Brandon Lockridge in left, Garrett Mitchell in center, Sal Frelick, the former Gold Glover, in right. Around the infield, Luis Rengifo at third. David Hamilton gets the start at short over Joey Ortiz today. Bryce Terang at second base, Jake Bowers at first, and William Contreras behind the plate.
And here is the superstar for the Royals, Bobby Witt Jr.
He just keeps getting better and better. This guy, you cannot take your eyes off him when you're on a baseball field. He can do it all.
1-1.
Just 25 years old.
Already in his 5th year in the majors, Vinny.
Yeah, 24 and 25 seasons. He was an all-star. He was an MVP, runner-up in 24. Last year, 4th in MVP voting. Gold Glove in back-to-back seasons in 24 and 25. Just the range is exceptional at shortstop. Again, you don't like to rave about opposing players that often, but when you're watching Bobby Witt Jr., you really do.
3-1 from Patrick to Witt with Pasquantino in the on-deck circle. What's the key for Chad Patrick to be successful?
He's got to land that curveball. We talked about it in that opening inning about what Chad Patrick has to do. He's got to mix in that curveball. He's had trouble 3rd time through the order. Why? Because it's mainly fastball, 4-seamer, 2-seamer, cutter. And if he doesn't have a pitch that moves north-south, he has trouble with lineups that 3rd time through.
3-2 on Witt. The payoff coming. That ball 4 will give the Royals a 1-out base run. Walked only 1 in that start against the White Sox on Saturday last week at home. Chad, understandably, perhaps a little careful there with Bobby Witt. Now has to deal with Vinny Pasquantino.
Let's look at that arsenal from last start. A week ago Saturday, threw 29 cutters, 19 2-seamers, 4 4-seamers, but only 8 secondary pitches, 6 slurves, and 2 changeups.
1-0 on Pasquantino.
Anytime you see Chad Patrick miss either down like that, where he kind of yanks it, or sails a pitch up and away, that means he's just getting a little quick through delivery, trying to rush through the release.
Two 2-0. Any concern about having a week in between starts this early in the season, or not? That shouldn't be a big deal?
It shouldn't be a big deal, especially a guy like Chad Patrick. Just feels like that guy that you ask him to do anything, right? Even go to the pen like he did last year in the playoffs, pitched exceptionally well out of the pen. He can do it. He's a guy that just gets things done and executes at a very high level.
2-1, Pasquantino, who has turned into one of the bigger sluggers in the American League Central. Hit 32 home runs a season ago, did Vinny. And a hitter's count, 2-1. Ball 3. Hasn't been able to find the feel for that cutter yet.
You got to be careful with Vinny Pasquantino. There's the Pasquatch right there. I think that's one of the coolest, most funny bits in all of baseball. If he gets on base, that Pasquatch thing will walk around that concourse up there.
Yeah, keep him in place then. Brewers don't want to see that walk.
No, they don't.
Be a 3-1 count. That's his nickname, the Pasquatch.
Played for Team Italy and the World Baseball Classic.
3-1. On the ground towards second. Terang, nice backhanded pick. 4-6-3. And the inning is over just like that. Chad Patrick rolls up a ground ball double play. Brewers leading 2-0.
Aren't as absurd as you think.
2-0 Brewers as Sal Frelick getting set to lead off the second inning against Luinder Avila. Josh Mauer in for Jeff Levering here this afternoon. Jeff, feel better soon, buddy. We miss you here at the ballpark.
JM's got the wheel right here, but definitely feel better, Jeff.
Just keeping the chair warm for you, Jeff.
Well, I knew he didn't feel good this morning when I said, are we going to play our cribbage match today? And he said, I don't think I can do it. I doubt
that was a telltale right there.
Right. You know he doesn't feel good if he can't play a game of cribbage.
Frelick, Lockridge, Hamilton. Bottom third of the order coming up for the Brewers. In a shallow left. Long run for Collins. Funny to see Isaac in that Royals uniform, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
How much he patrolled left field last season for the Brewers. One of the best rookies in the National League.
They like him over here in Kansas City, Isaac Collins. One of the main things they like about him is the fact that he can control the strike zone very, very well. Doesn't swing and miss very often, but that's kind of the identity of this Kansas City Royals team, so he fits right in.
Part of the return for the Brewers getting Angel Serpa to add as a weapon in their late inning bullpen. Brandon Lockridge now 0-2.
Yeah, it's him and Nick Mears coming over to Kansas City for Angel Serpa, who's looking like, you know, a real weapon in the back end of the bullpen.
Lockridge, great start to his season. 405 games played. We talked in the open about how great the opening homestand was, and I think, kind of double that when you consider the fact that the Brewers did it without Chourio and pretty much without Vaughn for all of it. Guys like Brandon Lockridge had to step up, help fill those voids, and he did very nicely.
And don't forget, too, they're missing Quinn Priest as well, and they have the fourth best ERA in baseball. But yes, on the offensive side of things, they continue to find guys to step up. Lockridge has been hammering the baseball.
Second strikeout for Luinder Avila. Talking about those missing pieces. The injury report brought to you by Froedtert Health and the Medical College of Wisconsin. There's the three we mentioned. You knew the Priester before that homestand began. You knew that he was going to be out for at least the first month. And then, of course, losing Chourio. Right before opening day, we find out he had that broken bone. And then Andrew Vaughn, on one of his first swings of this season, goes down.
Right. He got jammed in his first at-bat, he said, in opening day, and then the next day just didn't feel right. He thought it was his right thumb at first, but then the next day, his left hand, that's that hamate bone. That's the common bone that players will break. And it's always on the bottom hand of the bat. That knob kind of vibrates that bone and breaks it. It's a useless bone in your body. It's like your wisdom teeth or your appendix. So you wonder if guys should just start getting it removed.
There's been an epidemic of breaking those hamates in baseball thus far this year. Corbin Carroll, Francisco Lindor did it.
That's right.
Hamilton getting the start at shortstop here today. Line towards second, pats Nick Lofton. There's base hit out of the 9th spot for the speedy David Hamilton. He ripped that ball
right on the screws. David Hamilton, and only is coming into today with only two hits on the season. This is his third. Just right on top of that sinker, just drops the head on it right down the middle. A nice quiet approach from David Hamilton. He's on first base. He's got 4 stolen bases on the year. Let's see if he can try and get his 5th.
Up, and he was going, and Luinder Avila was wise to it. Pasquantino, now it is going to be tagged out. Inning over on a pickoff and a caught stealing. Left a little too early. It's only the second caught stealing of the season for the Brewers.
Potawatomi.
Chad Patrick back on the mound here against the Royals, his second start of the season, and our Gruber Law offices called to the clubhouse. Pat Murphy talking about the growth that he wants to see from Chad Patrick here in his second season after he performed so well and was so reliable for this team last year. 27 games, a .353 earned run average. He was even better in the postseason, pitching out of the bullpen, just a 2 earned run average for him in those 6 appearances. And Murph was talking about ultimately it's going to come down to the usage for him, right? Not being too predictable. There aren't going to be any secrets now that the league saw him last year. The 9% cutter usage, 26% on the sinker, 24% on the fastball. Now, that is because it was such an effective pitch for him, that the mix of those three, a 30% chase rate, one of the best chase rates across all of baseball. But again, that predictability, Murph said he's got to have more consistent command of the off-speed stuff with the curveball and the changeup. That's going to allow him to get deeper into games. And again, just the predictability of that usage, guys, that's going to be the next step for him to continue to grow into his role here with the team.
And you got to imagine that he's going to make that adjustment. I mean, just the way that his career has unfolded so far, 27 years old, second year in the big leagues, kind of came out of nowhere, quite frankly. I mean, he's traded a couple of times, and it was such a pleasant surprise what he did last year. I got to imagine that this kid is going to do whatever it takes to make those necessary adjustments that he needs in order to stay in the rotation in the big leagues.
You know, you were talking, Sophia, about how good he was in the postseason. I think you can make a strong argument he was the most important player in Game 5 against the Cubs. Full count now on Salvi Perez leading off here in the second inning. Those outs that he got behind Aaron Ashby first and then got a scoreless inning following that, those were some of the biggest outs the Brewers got all year. Swing and a miss. There's the cutter from Chad Patrick, and he puts away Salvi Perez.
Yeah, that cutter is working. That thing is moving a ton, especially if you can get Sal Perez to swing and miss in the zone, something that does not happen very often. That guy makes all kinds of contact, especially in the zone. But to your point, Josh, yes, when he struck out Ian Happ, I don't think I've ever, and I was at that game as a fan, I don't think I've ever screamed so loud.
Caglione into right, Frelick unable to come up with it. Good job by Sal to keep the ball right in front of him there. That's a tough play on a sinking line drive on a single for Jack Caglione.
116 miles per hour off the bat from Jack Caglione. A first-round draft pick just a couple of years ago, up to the big leagues very quickly in that sinking line drive. Sal can't get the glove underneath it. A tough play, not going to be able to come up with that catch, even from a Gold Glover and Sal Frelick, and Caglione on with a one-out base hit.
And the veteran Starling Marte finding himself with the Royals this season. Ball one. Contreras thought about a back pick there on Caglione. Dropped the ball on the transfer.
And keeping him honest. Caglione not a burner on the base paths, but will steal a base if you don't pay attention to him.
Last 4 years, Marte a member of the Mets. We saw him for so many years with the Pirates. Brewers have played against Starling Marte a ton.
They just signed a one-year deal over here with the Kansas City Royals. They were looking for some veteran leadership in the outfield. A guy that can hit both lefties and righties. Marte, 37 years old now, was still productive last year.
It's not the burner that he used to be. 1-2 Patrick ahead.
But handles both lefties and righties quite well. That veteran approach type of a thing. He's hurt the Brewers for sure in his career.
1 on, 1 out. You know, just to kind of button up that conversation about the Cubs Game 5. For me, it was the reaction of Chad Patrick when he struck out Ian Happ. The way that he let out that primal scream as he started to make his way off the mound. For a guy that is so generally reserved and emotionless on the baseball field, that made the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
It did. It was one of the coolest moments of 2025 when he punched out Ian Happ. I asked him, we interviewed him on the pregame show, Stephen Watson and I, a couple of days ago, and we asked him about that moment off air, and he said that was the coolest moment in his baseball career.
That's one that would be hard to top.
Yeah, I gotta imagine.
Other full counts. Second one of the inning already. He struck out Perez. Now 3-2. A couple of batters later on Starling Marte. Isaac Collins on deck. 1 out. Check again on Caglione. Chad's a pretty unflappable guy, even when things aren't going well. Seems to stay very level-headed just about all times. 3-2 runner holds. On strike 3 against Starling Marte. 2 strikeouts in the inning, each of them on a 3-2 pitch. Let's go back to that NLDS against the Cubs. Here's what we were talking about. There's the scream
That's awesome. As that backdoor cutter, he gets Dansby Swanson on the cutter that just kind of takes off. And yes, a guy that is pretty stoic on the mound typically was all about it in that moment. But a great moment for the Brewers franchise and a great moment for the kid too.
Now gets
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
Yep. As Collins up there, we get a challenge here from Contreras. And Williams going to win this one.
The Brewers have 2 challenges remaining.
Good challenge by William Contreras. Williams good at most things. I think he's going to be very good at that.
I agree. He knows when to tap the helmet and when not to. Obvious strike right there.
We're talking about it in the top of the inning. Isaac Collins going over to the Royals in that offseason trade back in December. He was 4th in the National League Rookie of the Year vote last season after his full year with the Brewers.
Yeah, he took advantage of his opportunity to play last year, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
A great year.
Took it and ran with it.
Yeah, he did. It's a big hits for the Brewers. Remember the home run he hit off of Edwin Diaz during the, what was that? Put the Brewers, what's that, 10-game winning streak at that point?
Finished the sweep of the Mets.
Yep.
That's probably the most memorable moment he had of a plethora that he collected.
Correct.
Getting a lot of swing through on that fastball and the cutter combo.
So think about where that wind is blowing too. That's going to make that sinker move just a little bit more, with a little bit extra finish on it. You're throwing it directly into the wind, and kind of that spin axis of the baseball is kind of creates some lift.
To the right side and through. Found a good spot to Collins, and Caglione will make his way to third on a 2-out single. Isaac Collins has a hit in his first ever at bat against his old club.
This pitch just kind of leaks right back over the middle. That was the cutter right in the 4-hole, out of the reach of the second baseman with the best range in baseball, and Bryce Terang. And Isaac Collins gets a base hit first and third now with 2 outs for the Royals.
So the tying runners aboard, and Nick Lofton coming to the plate. It's the first game he's ever played against the Brewers. Former competitive balance pick by the Royals. Upstairs for ball 1 on Lofton. You made the comment last inning, though. These are the spots where Chad Patrick is the toughest. Tends to make his biggest pitches when guys get on base.
It seems to lock it in just a little bit more. That focus heightens a little bit.
2-0.
This is where you really got to bear down now. 2-0. 2 outs, runners in scoring position.
It's a good crowd here, considering that the first pitch of this game originally was scheduled to be a couple of hours later than it was.
Yeah.
Good cut. Lofton fouls it straight back, so 2-1.
Yeah, Kansas City, this Kansas City faithful is excited about this Royals team this season. They're expecting and hoping that this team can win the AL Central. They have some pieces up and down the lineup and in the rotation to do so.
2-1 on Lofton. Perfectly placed. 2-2.
Comeback sinker right on the outer third. He goes to the cutter here.
Number 9 batter Kyle Isbell on deck. Patrick doesn't want to get to him this inning. Trying to strand a pair and keep a 2-run lead. The runner goes. Contreras throws through. Now here comes the runner home. They've got him dead to rights. Terang throwing back to Contreras. Inning over. The Brewers executed that about as well as you can. And the Royals held off the board in the second. Each team had a caught stealing to end the second inning. Brewers was at home plate, or the Royals was at home plate. And so Bryce Terang up there with a fresh count to begin the third against Avila. Bryce struck out to begin the ball game. And 1-1 the count. Avila gave up the 2-run double to Garrett Mitchell back in the first. That good whistling curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That almost buckles a left-handed hitter. That's how good that pitch is.
And then he goes back to the heat. Gets his 3rd strikeout. Back to the plate at home plate that ended the second. Our Aurora Healthcare defensive play of the game. The Brewers, as I said, Vinny, you can't execute this any better.
I mean, how many times have the Brewers done this in the last few seasons, is be able to execute this 1st and 3rd defensive play? I don't remember a team actually successfully stealing home plate on that play. I mean, Bryce Terang is one of the best in the game at catching that ball at second base and then turning it around quickly back to home plate and throwing a strike, as he did right there to William Contreras.
Rengifo doubled to start the rally back in the first. 1-1 the count. You know what's interesting? The Brewers, we think, tried that same play in the first inning with Christian Yelich at first and this man Rengifo at third, but Yelich put on the brakes, kind of called it off, got back.
Yeah, that was a very interesting play in the first and was able to get back. Luckily, because Garrett Mitchell, remember, hit a home or a double, almost a home run right after that.
Ended up being a very heads-up play by Yelich.
Yeah.
And it led directly to the Brewers getting their 2 runs. Out of play, still 1-2 on Rengifo.
Again, I'm sure that Matt Cotaro is trying to do something, anything, to get some runs on the board, especially against this tough Brewers pitching staff who ranks 4th in all of baseball in ERA. Trying to get some momentum going with that play, but Jack Caglione, I said it before, not a burner. You got to get a great jump off of third base in order to successfully steal home right there in that situation against the Brewers.
Another strikeout. 2-seam fastball. Blows it by Rengifo. Avila really finding something. He has fanned 3 of the last 4 to come up against him.
That kid is tough. That is a little extra giddy up on that fastball. Right by Rengifo.
So Contreras with 2 out of the bases clear. We were talking about Avila earlier, who has been in the Royals organization now for 8 seasons, but still a rookie in the major leagues. Took his time coming up the farm system. Hard hit towards third and fair. Extra bases for William Contreras as it bangs off the sidewall. And a jog into second base with a 2-out double, William Contreras.
Yeah, 96 off the plate in. You know, when William Contreras is looking for a pitch, and clearly he was looking for the fastball, you know, he will expand a little bit if he thinks he can handle it. And this is the case right here on that sinker. He's looking for it, pulls the hands in, barrels it up, you know, wraps a double inside the third base bag, and the Brewers have something going here with 2 outs.
Now, half of Contreras' 6 hits this season have been 2-baggers. And 3 of the 4 hits for the Brewers today have been doubles. Double your pleasure. And these are the spots, Vinny, where this offense has been prolific. They don't let you off the hook when there are 2 outs in an inning. On the ground, up the middle, perfectly placed. They keep it on the infield to save the run with Lofton. Single for Yelich. If Nick Lofton allows that to get through, then Contreras probably scores. So they'll be on the corners now with 2 out.
A pretty good play right here by Nick Lofton to keep this ball in the infield as Yelich pounds this one into the ground up the middle. Right off the bat, I thought this was going to sneak through. And Lofton showing off the range to keep it in the infield. But you're right, Josh, this is where the Brewers will hurt you. You get 2 quick outs, 2 strikeouts, and think about the psyche of a pitcher. You know, kind of maybe even relaxing a little bit. Okay, I just need to get 1 more, and then all of a sudden double base hit, first and third now, and you're in a jam.
And you're facing the guy who hit the 2-run double off the fence back in the first inning, Garrett Mitchell. Another big 2-out RBI opportunity for Garrett, and it's an even count.
Just goes back to, Josh, to that mentality that the Brewers have, not individually, but as a team, as a collective, that they know that they're never out of an inning, they're never out of a game, okay? They're just going to continue to stack quality at bat on top of quality at bat, and then that's why they're second in baseball with those 2-out runs.
Those are the kind of innings, too, that Pat Murphy loves more than any other. When the first two guys are out, pitcher thinks he's going to be back in the dugout quickly, and all of a sudden you drag him into the mud. 2-1.
You know, Sal Frelick maybe had the quote of the year, maybe even the quote of the last few years, is they want to drag the pitcher down to the netherworld. Now, they use a different term, and I won't use it on Holy Saturday here.
Runner goes on a fly into right. The wind is going to help it. Caglione watching it fly. Goodbye. Garrett Mitchell strikes again with 2 out in an inning. And this time it's a 3-run home run. It's Mitchell 5 and Kansas City nothing. 2 big swings for the Brewers center fielder.
I would say have a day, Garrett Mitchell, but have a third of a game, Garrett Mitchell. He's done all this just through 3 innings and 2 at-bats. Double, home run, 5 ribbies.
And now Bowers takes ball 1. Here you go again. There's another Brewer inning with 2 outs, nobody on. It began strikeout, strikeout for Avila. And all of a sudden they've hung 3.
And it looked like the Royals are probably thinking that, okay, here's our kid, our 24-year-old young rookie settling in now to this start, second time through the order, going punch, punch, 2 outs, and then this happens.
They dragged him into the netherworld.
Yeah, they did. And they'll continue to do so, relentless.
Two and one now on Bowers. Flew out back in that first, and this all started kind of when that double steal trying to steal home in the bottom of the second inning was thwarted by the Brewers defense.
That's right. And I talk about it all the time on the broadcast, right? The momentum, the subtle little momentum shifts in a game. You think you're going to steal a run against us? Well, wait a minute. We have Bryce Terang at second base. And then all of a sudden you take that on to the offensive side of things, that momentum that can be demoralizing for an opponent.
And now ball 4 to Jake Bowers. 4 straight have reached against Luinder Avila. And he's going to get a visit here from his pitching coach.
You see how quickly things can change for a pitcher against the Milwaukee Brewers. They're putting up another 3-run inning. They lead all of baseball with 8 3+ run innings.
Let's go back to the home run, Vinny.
Yeah, that's the curveball. Something that, like I said, Avila gave up 2 hits last year on the curveball. Garrett Mitchell almost looked like he was sitting on it, and he drives it almost into the fountains. That's a poke out of here.
Yep. Now Frelick with 2 out. Yeah, the wind is helping the ball in that direction, as we've said, but that was going to get out, I think, regardless of Mother Nature. Really barreled up a curveball. Garrett says he loves hitting breaking balls.
And he hammers breaking ball. He stayed back so nicely on that.
Frelick with a base hit in the left. Sal deposits one the opposite way to put 2 on.
And here they go again. Punch, punch, and then the next 5 reach. Getting back real quick to Garrett's last homer. Let's take a look at Sal's swing right here first, though. And that's the sinker, and just this is a vintage Sal swing, about a 3/4 swing, punches a line drive into left field, and again, more 2-out traffic for the Crew. But I just want to get back to Garrett's home run. Last home run 549 days ago. How about that? This guy's been chomping at the bit, waiting to get back to the big leagues after a long laundry list of injuries, and yeah, he's making an impact early on this season.
It was the 2024 season. Last time he had left the yard. Lockridge struck out last inning. Checked up on that one. And Avila is in danger here. Already 3 across. A 5-run Milwaukee lead and a 2-0 count. There go the runners. And the throw to third has Bowers beaten. Wow. Jake Bowers caught stealing by Salvi Perez. And that'll end the inning. But Garrett Mitchell with 2 massive swings in the opening 3 innings of this doubleheader. G. Mitch makes it 5-0 Crew.
Echo Dealers.
For a limited time, get in on Kids Cheer free. Buy a Terrace ticket to either match up April 12th or April 26th, and you'll get a free kids ticket. Plus, enjoy family-friendly activities at the game. Learn more at brewers.com/Family Sundays.
All right, Vinny, there's Garrett Mitchell. He's driven in all 5 of those runs for the Brewers.
Look at all the Brewers fans. Oh, that's my buddy right there, Chase Fresky.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's my buddy.
Oh, Vinny knows everybody, and everybody knows Vinny.
Yep.
They make their way here from Racine.
Well, he's playing hooky. He goes to Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha, unless they have spring break.
In the air and the left, very shallow and a long run. It's tough for Lockridge. He gets there in foul territory for the first out.
Ready to go a long way, Brandon Lockridge. Yeah, you basically have center fielder playing left. Take a look at the range here from Brandon Lockridge, able to run it down. It's tricky too with the wind kind of pushing it back. You think off the bat that's going to end up in the stands, and it comes back almost in fair territory.
So Patrick is back to work with this 5-run lead now, and the number 9 batter, Kyle Isbell. Just to tidy up our conversation about Garrett Mitchell's last home run, which you mentioned 549 days ago. It was that game winner in the wild card series against the Mets. 2024. Another ball on the left side. Lockridge fighting the sun and the wind, and he could not come up with it. Well, you can see that was a problem from the moment Brandon Lockridge started to stagger after it.
Yeah, you're battling the sun, you're battling the wind. This ball is up there, and again, that wind is howling up there right now. Now you got to battle the sun. That is tough. And Brandon Lockridge is going to be upset at himself for not coming up with that ball. But, I mean, if you come up with that ball, to me, that's qualified as a very good play, despite it just being a pop-up. That is nasty out there right now.
That's going to be ruled a double.
Yeah, I wrote down double in my scoreboard.
I'm going to write down double with an asterisk.
Before it was ruled, I should say, as our producer Brent was laughing at me. Of course you wrote down double. It was ruled a double.
It was a double.
I meant to say
you wrote down what it was.
I meant to say before the ruling.
Top of the order, and Michael Garcia. So a runner at second here. Garcia grounded out to begin the outing against Patrick. We just spent a month playing Cactus League games in Arizona, and those are the kind of balls that in Phoenix you see drop in the outfield all the time.
All the time.
2-1 on Michael Garcia.
You know, and this is a high sky too, so no clouds in the sky. What does that mean? It messes with your depth perception. So that's, you know, a triple threat right there on that particular play for Lockridge.
Popped out of play. 2-2. This starts the second time through the order against Chad Patrick. You were talking about it earlier, the fact that he'll need to rely more on just the two-seamer and the cut fastball after you've seen him once. The hitters get wise to that.
Yeah, he needs to, and this is going to be a source of his development going forward. Is he needs to make sure he can land that breaking ball to both sides of the plate. He calls it a slurve. He actually does not want to think of it as a curveball, because the way that he throws it He just kind of throws it as a fastball, lets the grip take care of it.
It's the 5th full count for Patrick. So he's faced 10 batters, and 5 of them have gone 3-2. Garcia is a tough out. He's the MVP of that World Baseball Classic. And he walked him. Close, but ball 4 off the plate away.
Yeah, not challenged by William Contreras. You're thinking why? Well, it was off the plate. If William doesn't challenge it, pretty confident is William. Yeah, see, that's off the plate a couple of inches, and William knew it. Not something you want to do right here is to have a couple runners in scoring position, or a couple runners on, I should say, with no place to put them in Bobby Witt Jr.
Second walk by Patrick. Bobby Witt got the first. And Contreras going out to visit with Chad Patrick after ball 1 misses. You're looking for a shutdown inning here. Your offense just got you 3. A healthy lead, but there's so much of this ball game still to go.
And Williams is telling him right here, hey, just calm down. It is Bobby Witt Jr., but if you make your pitches, you can limit damage right here. Hopefully able to retire Bobby Witt Jr. See if you can get a ground ball right here. And not off to a sizzling start is Bobby Witt, just hitting .273 with limited damage and hoping to keep it that way.
Pat Murphy knows how dangerous this guy is. There's a strike. Perfectly placed fastball. Talking to the media before both yesterday's rainout and the doubleheader today, Pat Murphy couldn't say enough good things about Bobby Witt Jr. Murph, friendly with his dad, Bob Sr., former pitcher. In the air in back of second. Long run for Terang, but he's there to make the catch. Over the shoulder, Bryce Terang is as good as any second baseman in baseball when he's on the retreat.
What a tricky pop-up right here that Bryce Terang's able to corral and haul in for the second out of the inning against one of the best hitters in all of baseball. Look at how he stays with that ball as that wind is continuing to push it. And nothing routine today, Josh, with this wind and sun.
You could probably say Bryce is as good as any second baseman in baseball at fill in the blank. Pretty much anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Going out catching pop-ups is certainly among those. Now Pasquantino.
Yeah, I talked about Bobby Witt Jr. being a guy that you really can't take your eyes off of when you're at the ballpark. Bryce Terang's in that category for me as well. Just the way that he has elevated his offensive side of things. It's something to watch.
Pasquantino bounced into a double play to end the first. 1-1. I hope we're not at the point, as people that watch the Brewers every day, and we're fortunate enough to do it for the last few years since Bryce Terang came up, I hope it never gets to the point that we take what he does for granted.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Just does all the little things. The instincts are off the charts. He plays winning baseball.
Another one down the left field line. This is going to be a fair ball. Can they catch it? Yes, Rengifo. Wow, he was straddling the line. It might have been foul. Those balls this inning were an adventure. But Rengifo makes the play over the shoulder to strand a pair. 5-0 Brewers. These great views from Wirecam brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Get great looks at the K, Kauffman Stadium, on this sunny but windy Saturday. Now here's one of the guys that had those adventures, catching pop-ups in the third. Brandon Lockridge grounds a single on the first pitch of the fourth. Felt like every ball last inning against Chad Patrick was difficult, up in the air for somebody to try to catch. Yeah, Brewers finally got out of the inning.
And we saw a great play from Bryce Terang catching that ball over his shoulder. How about the play from Luis Rengifo over his shoulder right on the line? That could have been all kinds of trouble. You see the Kansas City bullpen start to get hot. That's Daniel Lynch, left-hander.
Luinder Avila may very well be getting close to the end of his line as he approaches 70 pitches now. Last time he pitched, he was at AAA, and it was a week ago. He went 3 innings and 52 pitches.
Right.
So he's not stretched out much more than this.
Yeah, again, this is a kid that's going to be part of their rotation in the future. They want to make sure that they're not going to extend him too deep in this game 1 of the doubleheader. This is going to make an impact on what happens in game 2 with the bullpen.
Hamilton's been up there to bunt. Now he took the bunt off and takes ball 3. But a challenge. Salvi thought it caught.
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
That's felt like a late challenge to me. They do give him 2 seconds, just nips the corner.
Strike. Royals have 1 count remaining.
To me, that felt late from Sal. They're supposed to do it immediately, but I guess they give him a 2-second buffer.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Home plate umpire does not have to grant it, as you said.
Right.
It's Ryan Wills behind the plate today. It's a good challenge in the end. 3-0 becomes 2-1 on Hamilton. Now ball 3, and for sure this time. This could be the final batter for Avila regardless, I would think, with Terang on deck. We'll see. Three-1. Ball 4. Brewers with 2 on and nobody out. And they may have delivered a knockout punch to Luinder Avila.
Just
Matt Quatrero.
Another coordinated attack against the starting pitcher, stuck to their plan, made sure that breaking ball was in the zone and attacked the fastball. That's what they did, and that's why Avila is out of the game.
So Lynch coming in, the lefty, to face the top of the order. 5-0 Milwaukee.
For 10 years.
Brewers baseball presented by Miller Lite. Taste you can depend on. And by Northwestern Mutual. Discover a better way to money at northwesternmutual.com. It is a beautifully sunny afternoon. Temperatures getting up around 50 degrees as Daniel Lynch checks in. The left-hander's 3rd appearance of the season. And a 4.50 ERA, Vinny.
Yeah, 3 walks, 3 punch-outs on the year. This is a reliever, but has a starter's arsenal, has all 5 pitches. A 4-seamer, sinker, changeup, slider, and knuckle curveball. Has performed well against left-handers.
Terang in the left, and Isaac Collins with a beat on it. He'll fight the sun and not catch it in foul ground. Anything up in the air at the moment, you just kind of hold your breath.
I mean, if you're a hitting coach at this point with how these fly balls are dancing out there, do you tell them, hey, let's go ahead and hit some pop-ups? No, you wouldn't do that, but look at this play. You're fighting the sun, especially going to that side of the field, looking directly into the sun. You can see how much that sun is causing problems for the left fielder.
Terang still with life. Takes strike 3 call. 3 strikeouts for Bryce Terang in the first 4 innings today. Good start for Daniel Lynch. 2 on and 1 out for Rengifo.
Yeah, you could tell that Bryce Terang almost wanted to challenge that pitch. Anything up, you're just kind of like wondering where that top of the strike zone is. I think players are still trying to figure that out and get used to where the top is.
And that was in it.
Yeah, that one clipped the top.
Rengifo started the party today when he doubled back in the first. First extra base hit for Luis as a Brewer. Led to a 2-run double from Garrett Mitchell later in that first inning. Then Garrett hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd. He's driven in all 5 runs. That's in the air in the left. All right, let's see what happens this time with Isaac Collins. Can he find it? Yes. Feels like you're playing a game of chance.
You can see that Isaac Collins is like, thank goodness. That's what you're thinking as a fielder in these situations. And you can see how, guys are dancing around out there trying to create a better angle away from the sun. That's hard to do because, again, the wind is pushing the ball all kinds of directions.
So 2 on and 2 out now. Lynch doing a nice job getting the first 2 batters he's faced. Contreras out of play. So let me ask for your expertise. Who better to talk about catching fly balls than Vinny Bertino? When the sun is the way it is today and there's no clouds in the sky to interrupt that sun, why does that make it so difficult?
Well, the sky is just, first of all, there's no sun, just like in Arizona, no clouds, I should say. It makes the sky just even a little bit extra bright, plus the depth perception situation. You don't really know when and where the ball is going to land.
1 and 2 on Contreras. I think the regular, Joe Schmo among us watching at home says, these are major leaguers. They should catch fly balls.
It's not that easy. In fact, it is quite maddening at times when you're looking up. It's a lonely and very insecure feeling out there as a fielder when you know that everybody in the stadium, especially your pitcher, is expecting you to catch the ball. It looks like it's going to be a routine play, and you feel lost out there. It is a very tough feeling.
Good job by Daniel Lynch. Strikeout, fly out, strikeout, and he strands a pair of inherited runners here in the 4th. 5-0.
Saul.
Score the first Brewers bobblehead of the season on Saturday, April 11th, when the first 25,000 fans through the gates will collect the Miz Bobble, courtesy of Toyota. Visit brewers.com/giveaways for more details.
There's Miz in his old stomping grounds. Not far from Kansas City, Missouri is his hometown. Celebrated his birthday here yesterday. 24 years of age. Happy birthday, belated, Miz. Got to be around a lot of friends and family, I know, yesterday.
Went to Crowder Community College nearby, and Miz grew up going to Royals games.
Chad Patrick back to work in the 4th with this 5-run lead. We had double birthdays yesterday for the Brewers. Andrew Vaughn celebrated his 28th.
April, great month. Mine April 7th.
All right, Jake Bowers takes his turn fighting the sun. No problem for Jake. And Salvi Perez is at number 1 in the 4th. Patrick's had to work, but it's been a bend not break afternoon thus far. As you see, he gets close to 60 pitches,
and we saw that a lot from Chad Patrick, right? I mean, we've seen that over the course of 30 starts or so at this point in his career, and just does a great job of making big pitches in big spots. Said that all last year when we were watching him kind of operate through starts, through lineups. 11th in all of baseball last year in batting average and with runners in scoring position. You should take a look at that list. It's full of all the best pitchers in all of baseball, and Chad Patrick's right among them on that particular stat. It's no fluke for me.
2-1 on Caglione.
He's got that it factor. Hitters feel that too. Hitters feel when a guy's bearing down out there, not going to give in, going to make a tough pitch in a tight spot.
Out of play, 2-2. Apparently, by the way, Jacob Mizorowski yesterday got to celebrate his 24th birthday at his own house. Shrimp and a crab boil.
All right.
For the birthday meal.
I'm a big fan of those.
Sophia got the scoop on that.
All right.
Two and 2. Another full count. And this is what's going to be given away coming up during the next homestand. This is the Miz bobblehead.
It's a great looking bobble. Now Jeff Levering thinks there's not enough flames on that thing, but I think the flames look good. Although, the Miz does throw one of the hardest fastballs in all of baseball. I think that's Jeff's point.
It is the trading card bobblehead. Yeah, it's interesting. You look at it, and it's three-dimensional, but it looks like you're looking at a two-dimensional trading.
Right, it's great.
Well designed.
One of the best bobbles, I think, ever for a giveaway at American Family Field, I should say.
So now Marte. It's now 3 walks issued by Patrick. He struck out Starling back a couple of innings ago. 1 on, 1 out. 2-0.
And we talked about the slurve usage for Chad Patrick. Currently just 1 for 7 in landing those slurve balls for strikes. Something, again, he's definitely got to make that adjustment on.
See if he can roll up a ground ball here, get himself out of the inning with 1 pitch, potentially. In the left, tough play here for Lockridge, watching it go off the wall. They're going to hold Caglione at third on a ringing double by Starling Marte. Here come the Royals with a couple in scoring position.
Yeah, the 1-out walk to Caglione, he definitely wants back, and then falling behind 2-0 to Starling Marte, who swung through a fastball for a strikeout in his first at-bat, was ready for this fastball, gets a lot of plate right here, down in the zone, middle of the plate. Yeah, nice easy swing from 37-year-old Starling Marte, and almost puts it out of here. I would imagine if the wind was not cutting across the field right now, that we'd have a 5-2 ball game right now with that swing.
Brewers will leave the infield back with 1 out as Isaac Collins bats. Singled his first time. Takes strike 1 here. Up by 5, Milwaukee would concede the Royals their first run for out number 2. Popped him up. That's an even better result if you're Patrick. Rengifo gets the second out of the inning. Everybody has to hold.
That's a big-time second out right there against Isaac Collins. Who put together a great at-bat in his first AB and gets him to pop out for out number 2. Let's see if you can finish this off before you have to face the top of the order against the Kansas City Royals.
Tell you what, Chad's been walking the proverbial tightrope really every inning. Nick Lofton now with 2 on and 2 out.
Part of that reason is he has been falling behind hitters. You know, just 7 for 16 on first pitch strikes as we take a look at the pitches by inning right here for Chad Patrick.
Lofton flew out last inning. He's ahead 2-0.
Just battling and fighting that release point, battling and fighting, getting through that delivery, being able to repeat the delivery. Chad Patrick has been a little inconsistent today with that, but again, bend don't break. It's probably the biggest at-bat of the game for Chad Patrick right here.
In the air to left. Brandon Lockridge has it sized up right at the edge of the warning track. The Royals have put 7 men on base. None of them have scored in 4 innings. 5-0 Milwaukee.
We're back in Kansas City. We head to the 5th inning. The Brewers working with a 5-0 lead, and Pat Murphy and the Brewers will have a 27th man for Game 2 of this doubleheader later tonight. And there's also a 27th man / tortoise in the Brewers clubhouse right now, thanks to Pat Murphy and yesterday's game. So this was the story before the game yesterday. Murph sent one of the visiting clubhouse attendants, Barrett Paulson, out to a pet store, and he went over to John's Exotic Pet Store here near the ballpark and purchased what is now called Bobby Jr., in reference to Bobby Witt Jr., of course, and it is a sulcata tortoise. You see him there living in his container, enjoying a breakfast of fresh veggies. They think the tortoise is about 1 year old, and so Murph presented the turtle to Apple TV reporter Tricia Whitaker last night before the game was eventually postponed and rained out. But the Brewers players were having a lot of fun with Bobby Jr., the tortoise, this morning. let it out of its container. It was roaming around the clubhouse. Guys were having some fun with it. Some conversation now about what happens if the Brewers go on a run and go on a winning streak, and hopefully finding a good home for Bobby Jr. the Tortoise.
Christian Yelich begins the fifth with a ground ball single off of Daniel Lynch. I have so many questions.
Only Murph. But okay, what's one of them?
Well, yeah, let's just start with the tortoise. Why a tortoise?
Well, I think he said that's the irony of it, right? So it's named after Bobby Witt Jr., the player who's one of the fastest and most dynamic athletes on the baseball field in Major League Baseball. And so I think that's just a play on, Bobby Witt a little bit. The opposite of him is a slow little turtle. It's a tortoise. It is a tortoise.
It is a tortoise.
And there's some protocols to how you have to handle the tortoise. You have two hands. It feels insecure if you're just one-handing it.
They don't like loud music.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's what we learned in the clubhouse. What else did we learn? They eat lettuce, leafy greens.
Yeah.
And they don't swim. That's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise. They don't swim. So if you drop Bobby Witt or Bobby Jr. in a tank of water, it would just sink like a stone.
To the bottom.
Yeah.
Sophia, did you get to hold Bobby Jr., I wonder? Sophia was down there all morning with our new pet friend.
I did not hold Bobby Jr., but Bobby Jr. was really enjoying time, just kind of moseying about the clubhouse, I would say. There were kind of a circle of guys. Trevor McGill was in there, some of the pitchers. Kind of just explored a little bit as guys were getting ready for their day and getting into the rhythm of their day. Murph, spent some time with Bobby Jr., did not hold him today, I believe. But then, went back and was enjoying his breakfast in his little container under his heat lamp. What a way to live.
What a way. Leafy greens, breakfast of champions.
Yeah, I got to imagine, especially knowing baseball players, you would have Bobby Jr. roaming around the clubhouse, and then you have to go quick to a meeting. You better remember to grab it. I mean, he could roam off. It would take him a while to get wherever he's going.
He's not going to get very far. Jake Bauers with 1 on and 1 out. That was the first time today, by the way, Garrett Mitchell's been retired. He's been the one to drive in all 5 Milwaukee runs. Well, nice to have a new friend in the clubhouse. 1 and 2. So Tricia Whitaker from the Apple TV broadcast crew was the one that Pat Murphy originally revealed the secret of his pocket pancakes.
That's right. On national TV,
that
right.
happened last year. So I believe that Murph wanted to surprise her with something else yesterday. Thus, the tortoise to left for Collins. Backtracks and now makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, I believe he did pull the tortoise out of his pocket yesterday when he revealed it to Tricia.
Well, that's another first.
And I asked, are you worried about it, the thing biting people, right? Biting players on the hand. I mean, baseball players have to use their hands and fingers. And he said it's already bitten him and doesn't hurt. It's not like a snapping turtle where it's going to rip off one of your fingers.
Yeah, it didn't break skin.
Right. Very mild bite pressure on that.
I loved how Sophia set it up. We have a new 27th man / tortoise. Well done all around.
Yep.
2-0 on Frelick. 1 for 2. He singled back in the third. Josh Mauer filling in for Jeff Levering here this afternoon. Jeff will be back soon, under the weather today.
Do we have an update on Jeff? On how he's doing?
I'm hoping that his eyes are shut and he's getting some good rest.
Hopefully. Josh, you're filling in beautifully for Jeff. You really are. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Don't try to blow up my head.
You're one of my favorites, JM.
It's easily inflatable. 2-1. Great to be with you. Great to have you all along, folks. You've had a terrific start to Easter weekend. It's going to be a tough play here. Lynch off his glove, dives, and he got Frelick in the leg. What a play by Daniel Lynch. And he took the worst of that tag. Lynch think got kicked by Frelick on the way by. The inning is over, although the Brewers are going to think about a challenge.
Look at this play, bobbled at first by Lynch, somehow is able to glove it, and yes, he does get Sal with the glove, with the ball in his glove on the knee for the third out of the inning. Kind of an unbelievable play.
Brewers will now challenge, and Lynch appears to be okay after that terrific defensive play. Still a 5-0 Brewers lead. We are halfway through game 1 of today's doubleheader. Be back at it about 6 o'clock for game 2. There's Chad Patrick, who continues in this game up over 70 pitches. You can see, Vinny, he's given up those 7 base runners, but none of them have scored.
Yeah, 3 walks is the big one that he's going to kind of look at, going to make the adjustment on.
Alex Lang getting loose, right-hander for the Royals, but at the moment, quiet over on the Brewers side, as 9, 1, and 2 in the order are due up in the 5th. Kyle Isbell, that is foul.
73 pitches so far for Chad Patrick, just 37 strikes, and not a ratio he's going to be happy with after this one. But like you said, Josh, no earned runs, no runs on the board for the Kansas City Royals. Again, just getting out of tight spots, tough jams.
That backdoor cutter, that's a beauty. 1 and 2 on Isbell. See, he doubled. That was the Sun double a couple of innings ago. Lockridge couldn't come up with. 2 and 2. Well, the Brewers haven't played since Wednesday, so that bullpen is as fresh as it gets at any point really during a baseball season. Another full count.
That's a slurve again. 8 slurves, 1 for strikes.
It's the 7th full count that he's worked today. Isbell leading off. 3 and 2. We'll do it again.
Yeah, you just got to let him put it in play right here. Yeah, Michael Garcia on deck. Then Bobby Wood Jr. Just go get him.
Isbell is making him work for it. Starting his 6th year in the major leagues is Kyle Isbell, one of the guys that seems to get better and better. Pat Murphy singled him out yesterday, and speaking about the Royals. To left and playable. Lockridge again battling the sun, but he's got it. Now a message from Gruber Law Offices.
Get a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Big out, Vinny. Chad Patrick did exactly as you asked for. Said, I'm not going to walk this guy with the top of the order coming up. Going to throw strikes, let him put the ball in play.
Yeah, just kind of served up 3 fastballs in the zone and let Kyle Isbell kind of get himself out.
Saw Aaron Ashby get loose in the pen as Garcia takes strike 1.
Now there's that pitch right there. First pitch strike, check. Slurve ball for strike, check. Needs to have both of those working.
0 and 2. Now this is the beginning of that always dangerous 3rd time through the lineup. Garcia has grounded out and walked.
Last year, 3rd time through, Chad Patrick, or I'm sorry, this is for his career. Hitters at 288 off Chad Patrick with a 903 OPS. Numbers he's definitely going to want to improve upon as his career goes along here.
Got him looking outside corner. 2-seam fastball and ring him up. 3rd strikeout for Chad Patrick.
Perfectly located, and if Michael Garcia wanted a challenge, he's probably going to win that challenge. But this is the beauty of the challenge system. You have to preserve those challenges and pick your spots to do it. And just a great job by William Contreras to frame that pitch on the edge.
So 2 out for Bobby Witt. You can see on our score bug in the bottom right of your screen, you see on the left next to the team logos, there's 2 boxes. That's telling you the amount of ABS challenges available. And you can see that the Royals already lost one. On the ground to short. Hamilton takes care of Bobby Witt Jr. and 5 scoreless innings in the books. Chad Patrick worked his way in and out of traffic all afternoon.
15.
Wisconsin residents get half-price Brewers tickets at the first Friday home game of each month, courtesy of Pick and Save. Score the Wisconsin First Friday offer on April 10th. Grab a seat at brewers.com/Wisconsin Fridays.
Got the first one of those coming up in the upcoming homestand when we get back. It'll be this coming Friday. Chad Patrick getting high fives. 86 pitches to work those 5 scoreless innings. A job well done. Meanwhile, Alex Lang, the former Detroit Tiger, is going to take over here in the 6th for Kansas City.
Last pitched on Wednesday against the Twins. 34 pitches needed just to get 1 out. Gave up a hit and 3 walks in that appearance. Brewers have to be very patient against Alex Lang. He will scatter the baseball. Has a career 13.7 walk percentage. Major league average is around 8.5%.
Lockridge 1 for 2, a single back in the 4th. Left to bunt, took strike 1 from Lang. Free agent signing by the Royals this past offseason, coming over from the Tigers. Division to same division.
It was a first rounder for the Cubs back in 2017. Out of LSU, was supposed to be a starter for the Cubs in their future, but never panned out. Now he's been bouncing around out of bullpens, in and out of bullpens for the last few years.
If you're just joining us, Brewers have 5 RBI from Garrett Mitchell today. 2-run double and a 3-run homer. Those all came in the opening 3 innings off of the starter Luinder Avila. Game 1 of 2 from Kauffman Stadium. Got them both for you here on Brewers TV. So there you go. We took care of your plans for your day. On the ground to 3rd. This is going to be a tough play. Garcia on the run. Miguel Garcia. Terrific to get the speedy Brandon Lockridge over there by an eyelash at first.
Off the bat, I thought no possible chance was Miguel Garcia going to be able to get the speedy Brandon Lockridge after he hits this little dribbler down the 3rd base line. But this kid can really pick it. 26 years old, won the Gold Glove last season over at 3rd base. He's got range. He can come in on the ball just like you saw there. He got rid of that in a blink of an eye. Good pick on the other end from Pasquantino.
1 out for Lang, and David Hamilton yet to be retired today out of the 9 spot. Single and a walk. Those were each against Avila. Daniel Lynch came in with 2 scoreless innings and 3 strikeouts in behind the Royals spot starter. Now the 3rd hurler of the day is Lang. 2-0.
You want to add on to the lead, definitely, if you're the Milwaukee Brewers, but more to it, you want to kind of get into that pen just a little bit more as well in these last 3 2/3 innings. Hopefully set you up for a sweep of this doubleheader.
Sophia mentioned that these teams get a 27th man for game 2 only. That was the decision today. It's actually a case-by-case basis. Teams have to agree as to when that 27th man is added, whether you get them for both games or just the nightcap of a twin bill. And today it was just game 2.
I got to imagine the Royals wanted them for both games, and I got to imagine the Brewers said, I don't think we need that, right? We have two days off. Our bullpen is fresh and ready. Yeah, a little bit of a competitive advantage for the Brewers not to agree to that. Now we don't know if that's what the Royals wanted, but we're just assuming that they did, right?
If I were them, I would have asked.
Yeah, right. I actually didn't know that. A little nuanced rule that on a doubleheader, teams have to agree as to when and how many games that 27th man is going to be available.
2-2 on Hamilton with 1 out in the 6th. Did he go? Yes. Strikeout here for Alex Lang. Well, our Wisconsin lottery home run count was increased thanks to this man, Bryce Terang, on Wednesday off of Drew Rasmussen of the Rays.
Just impressive what Bryce Terang's able to do with that added sock in his bat, that extra pop. Able to go backside. A lot of talk about how he's got that pinky off the knob of the bat, almost like a golf grip a little bit. And I talked to him about that, Josh, and he's just trying to stay loose with it, trying to stay super relaxed and loose with that top hand to create a little bit more whip. Take a look at that pinky finger and almost that index finger, both of them kind of looking like a golf grip almost, to create that extra whip. And that's where you're seeing this added pop from Bryce Terang the last couple of seasons.
So it's interesting, the fewer fingers you have gripping the bat, you can actually swing the bat faster. That's what you're saying.
It's a feel thing for Bryce and for hitters that, again, they just want to make sure that those hands are just super loose, super relaxed, so they can fire that bat through the zone and create that whip. What does that mean, that whip? So you're hitting against the front side and that bat is whipping through out in front. Just like a whip, how you would crack it back. Okay, so you're hitting against that front side, that whip comes through out front.
Huh. Well, let's see if he can whip the bat through on a 3-1 pitch. Tried. Just a little behind a changeup, 3-2.
Yeah, 3-1 changeup to Bryce Terang, and Alex Lang and Sal Perez knew he was going to be sitting on something, looking for something to drive, and he fouled it off.
Payoff coming to Bryce. We'll do it again. Did you often change the grip that you held a bat with, or was it always the same, no matter what?
If I made adjustments, I would go in the tank, so I would try to just survive. I was just trying to survive. No, but yeah, you definitely try and change things up. Sometimes something will feel good for a couple of weeks, but it didn't really work out for me.
Ball 4, Terang is aboard for the first time. 2-out base runner in front of Luis Rengifo. Yeah, Bryce, if you go back to when you made that change, and it's around the time he started to really take off power-wise last August.
End of July, he told me that's when he started it. In August, that's when he hit, 10 home runs in the month?
Player of the month. And he's really not slowed down since.
Right, and it's the opposite field power for me. I mean, we've seen him in batting practice, and he goes top shelf, second deck all the time. But the fact that he can leave to any part of the field is what has really just kind of opened my eyes to say, okay, this kid is going to be, he's a budding superstar, in my opinion. I mean, he does it all.
Yep, you know he's a stolen base threat. 2 for 3 this season already in that department. Rengifo a double in 3 at-bats earlier. All 5 runs today for the Brewers, coming with 2 out in an inning.
Looking to mount something again right here with 2 outs and nobody on.
Good time to run, although the Brewers have been caught stealing twice today. He does go, but Rengifo offered at the pitch.
I mean, it's Sal Perez. I mean, he's just been one of the best in baseball in throwing runners out. Last year, threw out 44%. This year, just 1 stolen base against. 5 caught stealings if you count the 2 today.
Considering that the Brewers were 15 for 16 stealing bases in the opening homestand, 0 for 2 today seems noteworthy. 1-1 from Lang. Runner holds.
Yeah, well, different story with Sal Perez behind the dish. I also have a rookie in Carter Jensen. We'll take a look at the stolen base leaders in Major League Baseball. The Brewers with 15 atop that list.
It's early, but you expect them to stay right at or near the top all season. Came through the back door to even the count, 2-2.
Well, it's the other factor too is that they don't seem, and Matt Arnold doesn't seem to add any player on the roster that's not a runner. Right? I mean, every guy that they add, you look at David Hamilton, they added him in the Caleb Durbin deal with Boston. He's one of the fastest players in all of baseball. You had Luis Rengifo. He's no tortoise. Tortuga.
He's no Bobby Jr. Well, both disengagements have been used now by Lang. That's advantage to Turang if he wants to go. To right field, hit hard. Caglione back, and it's over his glove into the wall. Turang will be held at third. Caglione got it in quickly enough. The Brewers unable to score, Bryce, on another double by Luis Rengifo. His second of the day, second and third with 2 out.
Yeah, this ball was barreled up with authority to straightaway right field. Nice, easy swing. Now, Luis Rengifo's got all kinds of strength in those hands, able to cruise into second base with a 2-out double. And again, here's the Brewers coming on. 2 outs, nobody on. Walk double, threatening again.
Well, you know, Matt Erickson really wanted to try to send Turang, but it wasn't worth it with Contreras coming on deck. On the ground to third. Michael Garcia's got it. The inning is over. Brewers fail to score. They strand a pair and still lead 5-0. They go to the bottom of the 6th as the bullpen comes into effect. Today's StatCast, powered by Google Cloud, takes a look at the outs that Chad Patrick recorded by the type of pitch that he threw. Vinny, cutter, no surprise, was the most effective.
Yeah, cutter, sinker, four-seamer, that's no surprise. All those outs, 14 of them coming on the fastball, and then just the one on the changeup. But that is something that he is going to continue to work on, and I, again, believe that he's going to be able to do it. I thought it's just another performance from Chad Patrick where he is now in line for this win, where he's able to put the Brewers in a place where they can win. But it's just the situation where he's going to continue to build off something like that. As we see Aaron Ashby take the bump again, 5th time already this season, and only the 7th game played by the Brewers as Aaron Ashby's on the mound, and he's been virtually unhittable.
So our Gruber Law Office's call to the pen. Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all. Sounds like a position player type of usage. 5 out of 7 games.
Yeah, 2 of those have been multiple inning appearances for Ashby. He's been so good, just commanding the baseball. There's just 3 walks, 9 punch outs.
Got the win in the homestand finale Wednesday against the Rays with a scoreless 8th. Pasquantino leads off.
And we talked about how valuable guys like Aaron Ashby, who can go multiples, are for this staff. One of the youngest staffs in all of baseball, especially early part of the season, for those guys to go multiples, to get extra outs than just the 1 inning. Saves your pen.
That was close. Called a ball though, 2-2. Our data says it was outside by about an inch. Pasquantino, Perez, Caglione do. You know, we like one Vinny in this broadcast, maybe not so much the other. Pasquantino's making Ashby work here to get the outing.
Yeah, it's a career of struggling against left-handed pitching. That's why you see Ashby coming in against him, and then also Caglione, who's due up 3rd.
Shallow into center field. Very tough play for Mitchell. And he won't get there. A dying looper to greet Aaron Ashby. And look who gets to make an appearance. It's the Pasquatch.
Do we like to see Vinny Pasquantino get on base and get a knock against our Brewers pitching staff? No, but this is pretty good. Look at him. He's looking around and just makes his way back into the, what is that, his cave? Does he live in a cave?
What does he do the rest of the game?
Oh, it's pretty good.
All right, time to go. Bye-bye. Hopefully we won't see you again today.
Or the rest of the series. Or tomorrow. Yeah, I guess we're playing a doubleheader today. Yeah.
0-2 again. That changeup just tapped to the backstop by Salvi Perez. So Patrick goes 5, and now in the capable hands of the bullpen to try to get the final 4 innings here in Game 1 today. Brewers haven't announced their 27th man for Game 2 yet, but almost 100% of the time these days in a doubleheader, when you add someone, it's a pitcher.
Right, and usually a starting pitcher from AAA, right? So we'll see who that is.
Everyone available, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes. "35 years old now is Salvi, one of the greatest Royals ever." Stays alive. You mentioned Carter Jensen, who he shares time with behind the plate these days. Jensen was in the news. Their last game Thursday, he overslept. Arrived late to the ballpark for an afternoon game against the Twins. They eventually lost, and he was taken out of the lineup. He was supposed to start. Carter Jensen, a local kid. Great prospect. In the dirt, gets away from Contreras, and that'll advance the runner past Quintino.
Well, it takes him out of the double play situation, which between Ashby being able to coax hitters into about a 60% ground ball rate, and Sal Perez, not the fleetest of foot, who hits a lot of ground balls, takes him out of that situation. But yeah, Carter Jensen overslept and then made Sal Perez catch a day game after a night game that day.
He's not doing that a lot these days. On the ground to Ashby. He's going to throw this like 100 miles an hour. Well, that took something off. Been working on those throws to first, and he throws a bullet. Now, message from Potawatomi Sportsbook, folks.
When Potawatomi Sportsbook invited me, John Kuhn, to be their spokesperson, I had to join the team. Yes! Yeah! Potawatomi Sportsbook, your sport, our stadium.
Big out because Pasquantino unable to advance to third on that comebacker, and here's Jack Caglione. There was one of those comebackers during the homestand, Vinny, that was fielded by Ashby, and he threw the ball to first base about as hard as he throws a pitch to home plate.
Right. I remember that play, and that's something that Charlie Green.
Towards first, Bowers, tough pick, and Ashby win the race. No. Wow, Ashby not able to get over in time on the feed from Bowers. And the runners on the corners with 1 out.
That's a mistake by Aaron Ashby right there, not getting over, delayed just a hair. Watch this. Doesn't get over there. Look, he doesn't. You got to right away, as soon as that ball's hit to the right side, you got to get over. That slight little hesitation, that delay, allows Jack Caglione to beat the play.
So here come the Royals. Neither of the hits very well struck. A blooper and an infield single, and here's Starling Marte. Double play depth on the infield. And strike 1 to Starling, who doubled last time up. Royals are 1 for 6, batting with runners in scoring position today. And that one was just that hit by Caglione that didn't produce a run. Immediate trouble here for Ashby, and that's line but foul.
Marte took that 0-1 changeup down, and then he was all over that 1-1 changeup up. So you wonder if he was sitting on it. Let's see what they go to here.
Love a ground ball. They lead from the corners with 1 out. And Marte tired of waiting. One-two. Popped up. Over towards the sidewall. Bowers out of room. It's the direction the wind is pushing everything.
Yeah, the wind definitely pushed that one out of play. As the right pitch selection by William Contreras. After he was all over the changeups through 97, almost got Marte to pop out.
Pitching for the punch out or a ground ball, perhaps, right at an infielder. Strikeout indeed. He got him. 2 out of the inning. Beautiful breaking ball.
So many weapons for Aaron Ashby to go to, right? We've seen that changeup really working well down in the zone so far this season, and then he goes to the back foot slider against Starling Marte. Just another exceptional call from William Contreras, who's got such great feel to call pitches. Yeah, well executed by Ashby.
See if the Brewers can wiggle out of another one of these unscathed. It's Isaac Collins. And he's behind 0-1. Becoming a lengthier inning, you can see up over 20 pitches thrown here in the 6th for Ash. One of the things that they have loved about Aaron Ashby these last couple of years, Vinny, is how rubber-armed he's been. To left field, down the line, and hooking. Foul. Not by much.
Wow. You see the quick hands from Isaac Collins. It just hooked foul. Luckily for the Milwaukee Brewers, and we'd have a tight game if that one was able to sneak around the pole.
A little bit of a Fenway Park pesky pole type setup here in left field.
Yeah, they moved in the fences. That one just curved around the front of the pole.
High, hard one. And Collins able to spoil it. We'll be at Fenway at the back end of this first road trip of the season. A couple of cool, unique ballparks. Brewers opening their road portion of the season in. 2 of the 5 oldest in Major League Baseball. Kauffman, and then the oldest is Fenway.
Yeah, 120 years old, is that right?
2 on, 2 out, 2 strikes. Got him swinging. Change up, and Ashby with back-to-back punch-outs to escape trouble in a scoreless 6th. The left-hander getting nasty. The Brewers keep that 5-0 lead after 6. For every Brewers RBI, the Northwestern Mutual Foundation is funding 5 hours, equivalent to $250 of childhood cancer research. Northwestern Mutual and the Brewers are proud to partner in curing childhood cancer. That's a beauty shot from our drone here in Kansas City. So we go to the 7th, and Yelich greets the reliever, Alex Lang. Perfect sunny day. Bit on the chilly side. You don't mind about 50 degrees here on the 4th of April, though.
No, you take it, especially with the sun out, right?
Yeah. Yelich has a couple of hits today. Lang was able to strand a walk and a double last inning. So he gets a 2nd of relief. 3rd pitcher of the day for Kansas City. This is a doubleheader, folks. Game 2 to begin in about 3 hours. So it's a split doubleheader. They got to kick everybody out of here.
6 o'clock first pitch.
6:10.
6:10 first pitch.
I think they'll let us stay. Brewers trying to start the season 6-1. It'll be the 2nd time in 4 years they've done that. Started 2023 winning 6 of their first 7. That was Craig Counsell's last season as manager. Laid off, and it's a full count on Yelich. With Garrett Mitchell and Jake Bauers to follow. Interesting that Matt Quatrero, the Royals manager, stays with the righty for this part of the order. He's just trying to preserve the bullpen.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get through, thinking about all 18 innings that they have to cover.
We got Yelich. Curveball, second strikeout for Lang. Garrett Mitchell's got our Toyota drive of the game earlier. This was back in the third. Well, actually, let's start in the first.
That's the double, the big 2-run double, and then later on in the third, it's the 3-run jack against a tough curveball from Avila. Yeah, responsible for all 5 runs is Garrett Mitchell, having a big day.
And having a big start to the season. Look at those numbers. 10 runs batted in. Just to put that in perspective, he drove in 3 runs the whole season last year in the 25 games he was healthy enough to play in before he got hurt at the end of April.
And it just feels like, too, he's just scratching the surface, right? I mean, he's still, he just hasn't had a ton of baseball experience at the major league level. He's still learning and figuring it out.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Alex Lang. That one on a change. And there's 2 away here in the visiting 7th. And Jake Bauers 0 for 2 with a walk. It's not just, Vinny, a long day today, 18 innings that these managers, players are going to have to navigate. Then you play an afternoon game tomorrow on Easter Sunday. So you're going to play this whole series, a 3-game series, in what, like 27 hours?
Right, right. And then you travel and fly to Boston if you're the Brewers and have to navigate a 3-game series there. Yeah, it's not ideal. They definitely didn't want the night off last night, and it barely rained.
Although that man would tell you, well, that's what we get paid to do. We navigate these things.
Yep.
Can't control it, so you just deal with it. One and one the count. Tipped into the mid, 1-2. Let's take a look at the Wisconsin home run lottery leaderboard. Jake Bauers, 1 of 2 Brewers with multiple homers in that opening homestand. Gary Sanchez, the other one of those. Picking up right where Jake left off in spring training, huh?
Yeah, and last September, right? He was top 5 in the league in September in OPS. He's really starting to figure it out. And then there's El Gary, the Sanchez.
Yeah.
The Kraken. Which one do you like the best?
I like the Sanchez. It's hard to argue with the Kraken. Great nickname, the Kraken. 3 strikeouts in a 3-up, 3-down 7th for Alex Lang. It's time to stretch in Kansas City.
Potawatomi.
Our game reset is presented by Toyota. Brewers holding this 5-0 lead. It's been that way since the top of the 3rd inning when Garrett Mitchell had his second big early swing. Mitchell a 2-run double, a 3-run homer, and Chad Patrick with 5 scoreless in his second start of the year. Aaron Ashby now back to the mound. Beautiful shots from our wire cam brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. A sunny Saturday in Kansas City. Ashby worked his way around a couple of soft singles back in the 6th. Back-to-back strikeouts stranded him on the corners. Lofton, then Isbell and Garcia coming up. 2-0. Told you Ashby's rubber armed. They don't mind asking him for a second inning of work here today at the beginning of this doubleheader. 3-0 though on Nick Lofton.
Last year, Ashby was 66 2/3 innings of work and 43 games pitched. And remember, he was struggling with some injury issues early on in the season. He didn't even join the team till May.
3-1 on Lofton. You saw the right-hander John Schreiber getting loose for the Royals. Nobody throwing at the moment for the Crew. Bottom of the 7th. And he lost him, so that's a leadoff walk.
Yeah, not ideal. But Murph, if you asked him right now what he's thinking he definitely wants to stay away from any more of his kind of back-end leverage guys to close this game 1 out and save them for game 2. And leadoff walk's not a good start here in the 7th inning for Ashby.
Although, as he showed you last inning, he's got the stuff to overcome it.
You're right.
And a visit from William Contreras before Kyle Isbell bats. They're going to have a pinch hitter, actually. Lane Thomas is going to bat for Isbell. Now a message from Aurora Healthcare.
1, 2, 3, Brewers!
How does it feel?
Amazing. One of my best days ever.
Here's the veteran Lane Thomas. Yet a right-handed hitter up there with nobody out. Down the left field line, and Thomas gets it into the corner. Racing towards third is Lofton. They will send him around. And the Royals get on the scoreboard with an RBI pinch hit double from Lane Thomas. It's a 5-1 ball game. Finally able to come through Kansas City today with runners on base.
This is exactly why the Kansas City Royals signed Lane Thomas. It's in order to handle left-handed pitching. First pitch he sees, high fastball, gets on top of it and laces a double in the left field corner, and that's going to be plenty deep enough to score Nick Lofton all the way from first base with nobody out now in a 5-1 ball game.
And now Chris Hook is going to come pay a visit to Aaron Ashby as Abner Uribe starts to heat it up over in that bullpen. You do have Garcia and Witt Jr., a couple of right-handed hitters coming up. Abner's not ready yet, though.
Yeah, Chris Hook buying some time for Abner to get hot. And you got to imagine that he's going to be coming in, depending on what Garcia does here, coming in to face Bobby Witt Jr.
So Thomas at second. There's still nobody out. Garcia's 0 for 2 with a walk. And strike one. Steals it with a change of speed, does Aaron Ashby. This is the challenging part of the Kansas City order. Close, but a ball, 1-1. You get Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino. That's about as good as any team in the AL Central can throw up at you. Four-run ball game now. And that one towards first. Bowers with a sliding play. He'll win the race to the bag. Big first out in the inning. And a hot shot to Jake Bowers.
Huge play right there by Jake Bowers. Not only keep it in the infield, right, but to record it out. Ranging over to his right. And check this out right here. It ranges to his right, slides, gloves it, and then beats Miguel Garcia over to the base, who can run.
Infield back. Here's Witt swinging through the change. So they stay with Ashby here, Vinny. Do have the lefty Pasquantino on deck. You still have a 4-run lead.
Yeah.
Towards second. What a pick by Terang. Can he get him? No, he's still seated, and it's an infield RBI hit. So Thomas scores as Bobby Witt Jr. hit a hot shot back through the box. It's 5-2.
That ball was 107 off the bat of Bobby Witt Jr. and just barreled up, and you can see Bryce Terang does all he can to try and glove it, but Bobby Witt running hard out of the box, able to get an infield RBI base hit.
And now here is Vinny Pasquantino, who singled off of Ashby last inning. 1-0. So 2 runs across for the Royals as they try to keep the comeback going in the home 7th. 2-0. And the last 3 hitters after the leadoff walk, they've all hit the ball very hard. Double hard ground out, that infield RBI hit, as you said, over 100 miles an hour. There's a strike, 2-1. Two and two. Just pounds that two-seam sinker right into the dirt.
Yeah, looking for a ground ball right here to try and double off Vinny Pasquantino. Actually one of the slowest runners in all of baseball. Let's see if he can get something right at an infielder.
There goes the runner. And Contreras bobbles it on the transfer. Bobby Witt Jr. steals second base. It was almost like a pitch out where he caught that ball, but Witt had such a good jump, not sure he could have gotten him anyway.
Yeah, stolen 151 bases now in his career. Bobby Witt had a monster jump. Obviously read something against Aaron Ashby and able to get into second base easily.
And a full count on Pasquantino. Big pitch. Got him swinging. To the breaking ball, Ashby for a big second out. And that'll be his final pitch of the appearance. Here comes Pat Murphy.
Another big pitch from Aaron Ashby to get Pasquantino. Again, so many different weapons to go to. Gets him with the slider, and here comes, looks like it's going to be Abner.
So 5 outs recorded by Ashby. 3 of them strikeouts. Abner Uribe will try to end the 7th when you come back.
Hometown service.
Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Brewers, the official source for your Brewers gear.
Looks like those fans visited. They were all Brewer geared up as Abner Uribe takes over here with a runner at second and 2 out in this 7th inning.
Yeah, his 3rd appearance on the season, has yet to give up an earned run. Just a walk and 2 punch outs so far. Let's see if Abner Uribe can get out of this inning for Aaron Ashby.
A couple of World Baseball Classic participants. Salvi Perez, of course, part of the champion Venezuela team, and Abner on Team Dominican Republic. 0 for 3 today is the the Royals catcher. Sinkers and sliders out of the right arm of Abner Uribe, as you know. 2 runs in here in the 7th. Popped him up. That was the slider. Bryce Terang is calling and shielding and catching the 3rd out. Took him 2 pitches to extinguish the flame. Abner Uribe. It's 5-2 Milwaukee.
FuboTV.com.
Brewers and Royals back here at Kauffman Stadium, and you can donate pet supplies or $10 during the Brewers Community Foundation's drive-through for charity coming up on April 9th near Hellfair Field from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Fans who donate will receive a Pat Murphy pin, and the first 200 to donate will receive 2 free Brewers ticket vouchers. And the drive for charity is presented by BCF's Leadership Council and News Radio 620 WTMJ. You can go to brewers.com/BCF and get more information.
Thank you, Sophia. 620 WTMJ, that's where I normally reside, Vinny. I'm on loan here this afternoon. John Schreiber takes over on the hill as we go to the 8th. Royals still trail by 3. Sidearm right-hander.
Yeah, Schreiber with that 6 ERA. He's got a sinker slider, gets ground balls. The righties have a tough time against him. Lefties have had a ton of success against him as of late. And Lane Thomas takes over in center.
And it's 1-1 on Sal Frelick to greet Schreiber. Lane Thomas, pinch hit, got the RBI double for his bell and stayed right in his spot. Bottom 3rd of the order, Brewers trying to add on. They have not scored since that 3rd inning home run from Garrett Mitchell. 1 for 3 today is Sal. So Schreiber is the 4th pitcher of the afternoon for Kansas City. Yeah, As the lonely WTMJ Brewers Radio Network broadcaster left in that booth today, Lane Grindle. I feel like I've abandoned him.
I wonder what he feels like. Yeah, he's got to do the whole game by himself. Usually you guys, what, switch off every couple innings, right?
Yeah, we do. Full count on Frelick. There was a lonely empty chair next to him in that shot.
Well, you're stepping in and doing just a bang-up job here, JM.
Thank you, VR. Lockridge on deck, 3-2. His ball forward to Frelick. Leadoff base runner here in the 8th against John Schreiber. Jeff Levering's under the weather. Just doing a little pinch hitting here this afternoon. Feel better, Jeff? See you back here soon.
I hope he's okay. Yeah.
It's your first color commentary performance of 2026.
It is, yeah. Doing a doubleheader here with my good friend JM, Josh Mauer.
Producer Brent Reeland, director John Walsh, the entire crew providing you the pictures and the sounds. Glad that you've been able to spend part of your weekend with us here from the K. 0-1, there goes Frelick on a foul ball, so he'll have to go back.
What's it like doing? How is it? Is it a transition for you to have to do TV and radio? I mean, obviously you don't have to describe every play like you do on radio. How has it been?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's been great. I mean, how has it been for you? You're doing a phenomenal job. It seems like you've been doing TV forever.
That's foul. It's been a while, but I've done it, so I think that helps.
Yeah.
Last time I called a baseball game on television would have been 2021. Lockridge has a single in 3 at-bats. A good take on that cutter from Schreiber. Little known fact, when Vinny Rotino was winding down his playing career and playing for the Charlotte Knights in the International League, that ball is hit to short. Let's see if they can turn 2 on it. Nope, Lockridge a little too fast. Beats the relay there from Lofton. And there's 1 out of the inning. Vinny was playing for Charlotte. And the spry young AAA play-by-play broadcaster Josh Mauer was calling his at-bats for the Pawtucket Red Sox.
And I remember I got tossed out of a game arguing balls and strikes, and you said you were going to try and find that in your archive, but never did. I still got to get you on that assignment.
I guess I didn't try that part.
Yeah. I let him have it pretty good.
You remembered it better than I. David Hamilton with 1 on and 1 out. That would have been the last time that, well, you and I were in a game together that mattered. Like this, broadcasting here from Kansas City today. Fun to be with you.
Yeah, you too.
1 for 2 of the walk is Hamilton. One of the cool things about the quality of television production in Major League Baseball these days, we have microphones everywhere, and you can hear John Schreiber grunt with every pitch that he delivers. 3-0. Some pitchers do that, and we catch them now.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, obviously, the Brewers broadcasts have done a phenomenal job last few years, but I feel like even this year it's stepped up quite a bit, right? With MLB coming on, MLB TV and Brewers TV, a little extra cameras around, a little bit better technology, and some of these shots have been awesome.
3-1 coming. Ball 4 to Hamilton. That's the second walk of the inning. Speaking of the modern technology that we put into all these great broadcasts, it's our Potawatomi Sportsbook wire cam. The Royals all converge on the mound to speak with John Schreiber. Nobody up in their bullpen. And I think if Matt Quatrero had his druthers, he'd prefer not to use another pitcher in this one here. But now the top of the order coming up, trying to add on to a 3-run 8th inning lead.
And they're pitching with a light bullpen as well, because Michael Wacha never went on injured list, right? So Carlos Estevez, their closer that led the league in saves last year with 42, he is on the IL, but they didn't bring anybody up for Waka.
It's a good one to Rang to start off this at-bat. Yeah, Estevez blew a save in the opening series in Atlanta, landed on the injured list. Former Brewer Lucas Ursag has been serving as the closer for Kansas City. Towards third, foul. Just wide of the bag by a foot or so, 0-2.
Schreiber has had trouble getting left-handers out. He's gone to the kick change. We've seen a number of pitchers do that, but look at that record, 51-1 when taking a 3-run lead.
Towards short, off the glove of Bobby Witt Jr. They got an out at second and an out at third, though. No chance for Brandon Lockridge to have avoided that. It's a double play. And one of the stranger ones you'll ever write on a scorecard. Well, we got 6-4-5 double play. And that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Outshines a blue moon.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest. Prevagen made for your brain. To the bottom of the 8th, Abner Uribe stays in to face Jack Caglione. 3-run Brewers lead, 6 outs defensively left to get. Caglione, Marte, Collins. 5, 6, and 7 on the card for Kansas City due. Abner had to throw only 2 pitches to get the final out of the 7th inning. Tipped off of Contreras.
And no stranger to throwing multi-inning outings. And that's the, you know, he threw 7 last year, but is that the finger that, you know, the foul balls that William Contreras, remember, he broke that middle finger, played with it all year long, and it was those kinds of foul balls ricocheting into his glove that kind of did the damage and caused all the pain.
Played through it the entire season last year. Never went onto the injured list. Had surgery finally to get to repair that in the offseason. And has said he's felt better at the beginning of 2026 than he has in a long time.
And I talked to Nestor Corridor about that. They have extra padding in that glove just for that reason, for those foul balls, but looks like that one got him.
A quick visit. Now back to work. Abner Uribe. This is what it looked like.
Foul ball straight into that glove. Yep, that's the spot that caused them so many problems last year.
Caglione is 2 for 2 with a walk. Brewers haven't gotten him out yet today. That one bounced to Bowers, though. 2 hops and a perfect feed. 3-1 on the hookup. First out in the bottom of the 8th.
A big first out to get. Look at this bullpen right here, Josh, for the Brewers. 3rd best in baseball with a 176 opponent batting average. Given up just 5 earned runs in the entire season so far has the bullpen.
Here comes young Carter Jensen. The local kid who is one of the better catching prospects in baseball. He's going to pinch hit here for Starling Marte.
Made his MLB debut last year as the Royals' #1 prospect, 16th overall according to MLB Pipeline. Made his debut last year, hit 300 with 13 RBIs in just 20 games.
Just 2 for 16 to start this season for Carter Jensen. And the base is clear with 1 out in the 8th. "22 years of age, local kid. Went to high school right here in the Kansas City area. Backdoor slider 1-1 as Cruz gets ready to pitch the 9th inning in the bullpen for Kansas City. No activity behind Abner Uribe here in the 8th. What a beautiful slider, 1-2.
The backdoor slider. Big swing count from 1-1 to 1-2 after that well-located slider.
A great weapon against the left-handed hitter. Abner versus Carter Jensen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We were talking earlier about the issue that Carter Jensen had a couple of days ago when he overslept and missed the start of the game against the Twins on Thursday. Royals made that known publicly. Got him swinging, I think. Yes, he did. Couldn't hold back. 98 miles an hour on a sinker. 2 out. Makes me think about a Tavern of the Game.
Good call, Josh. Today's Tavern of the Game winner is Hilltop Bar in Sobieski. The Tavern calls the Milwaukee Brewers by 10 a.m. tomorrow. They will receive 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offers courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. I definitely butchered that name of that city or town. Yes, and I feel bad about it. Didn't have a chance to call the Tavern today, which I usually do for their specials and their what they like to serve.
Well, they better call us. So now Isaac Collins against his old teammate Abner Uribe, ahead 2-0. You like to do your homework in every facet of the broadcast.
I do, especially the names and how to pronounce the towns of the state that I'm part of. Team Cheese, let's go. You're part of Team Cheese now. You've been living here long enough.
I'll take it. Right to David Hamilton near the bag. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals against Abner Uribe in the 8th. The Brewers, they're part of Team Cheese. We go to the 9th with a 3-run lead.
At just $25 a month.
It's 414 Day at the game on April 14th. Get here early for an artist t-shirt giveaway designed by All Goods, Milwaukee, and ACM Designs. The first 10,000 fans will get the artist shirt courtesy of Hupy and Abraham. Visit brewers.com/giveaways.
And here it is, in the flesh.
Take a look at that shirt.
We got a little preview
Take
for
one.
you. Yeah, look at that, 414 Day. Coming up, next homestand. Speaking of Team Cheese, Steven Cruz takes over, the right-hander here for the 9th inning.
They last pitched on Wednesday against the Twins, trying to cling to a 1-run lead. He actually gave up 3 solo home runs in that outing on the 6 batters that he did face. He's got a big fastball, the 4-seamer up to 98, a cutter at 94, and a slider at 89. Big heavy fastball, 6'7", 225 pounds, Steven Cruz.
That's a big dude atop that hill. And a fly ball by Rengifo in the left. Collins saunters in for the first out. Now message from Diggers Hotline.
For 50 years, Diggers Hotline has helped protect Wisconsin residents. Contact them for free 3 or more working days before digging. Be smart. Check before you start.
1 out for Cruz here in the visiting 9th. Brewers have not scored since that 3rd inning, but thus far the 5 early runs driven in by Garrett Mitchell have been enough. They got the closer, Trevor McGill, getting ready for the bottom of the 9th. William Contreras was on twice early. A walk and a double. He's 1 for 3. Watch these big, tall pitchers. You think, how do you ever see the ball? They're throwing so downhill. It's like it's coming on top of you.
Right.
The guy's 6 feet 7 inches.
It's good angle. He's on that third base side of the rubber. Kind of slings it. Intimidating presence out there on the mound.
He could be a power forward in the final 4 games in Indianapolis later tonight.
Fly him out there. Bet he'd be a force in the paint.
I bet. Good take on a slider. 1-2 on Contreras.
You got a team. You got teams you're rooting for, Josh?
Rooting for good games.
Yeah,
that's what I got tonight. 2-2. It's a great time of year to be a sports fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. But I got to be honest, I'm rooting for a all Big Ten final.
Oh, you want Illinois, Michigan?
Yes.
Out of play, it remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Think about what you get in late March, early April. It's the beginning of the Major League Baseball season. College basketball, the end of March Madness, the NBA, NHL regular season's coming towards the playoffs. The Masters is coming.
Best time of year.
I think it's the best.
I do. I really do. I mean, I'm a big NFL fan as well, but nothing better than this time of year, especially with opening day and baseball season underway.
3-2. It's a good battle here by Contreras. He's going to see a 9th pitch from big Steven Cruz.
He doesn't really have swing and miss stuff. He's looking for weak contact as Steven Cruz.
Popped him up on the infield. Playable. Second baseman is Nick Lofton. 2 out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers.
2 up, 2 down for Yelich. 2 hits and 4 at-bats today, each of them singles. He continues his terrific start to the season at the plate. A lot of Brewers fans here in KC.
I was talking to a few of them down there on the concourse, and I said, how far is the drive? It's an 8-hour drive. They make the drive over, or they fly, I suppose, but it's not like it's, you know, just a 4-hour or so drive. I mean, it's
you're not just hopping in the car and going. You got to plan it.
I mean, you could do it in one shot for sure, 8 hours, but
it's a fun ballpark. You know, if you were going to make a trip and you say, well, let me go somewhere unique this year. The Brewers don't come here every year. It's not an annual thing, and it's a neat ballpark to see.
It is a cool ballpark.
Told you it's older, one of the oldest in Major League Baseball, but they've given it some facelifts. Sightlines are beautiful, just about wherever you're sitting. And of course, the famous fountains hang out in the outfield over the outfield wall. There they are. That is unique only to here.
Yeah. Really cool looking ballpark.
Full count on Christian Yelich.
And they moved the fences in this year.
They did.
Made a little more hitter friendly, the ballpark. They not only moved them in, but they also lowered the wall from 10 feet to about 8.5 feet.
Payoff to Yelich, got him swinging. So 1, 2, 3, 9 for Steven Cruz. Trevor McGill time. Trying to batten down the hatches on an opening game win in the doubleheader. Brewers 3 outs away from securing game 1 of this doubleheader. Game 2 follows us. Coming up now in just about 2 hours. We got it here for you on Brewers TV with Brandon Sproat making his second start as a member of the Brewers. Seth Lugo, the veteran, will oppose him. We got you right at 6 o'clock. Game 2. Brewers will be hoping to go for a doubleheader sweep. And that fate rests in the hand of Trevor McGill, Vinny, as he tries to finish out this victory.
Trying to notch his second save of this young season. Trevor McGill was the Brewers save leader last year. Hadn't pitched since Monday against the Tampa Bay Rays in that game 1 of that series, but looking to get through this 8-9-1 part of the order for the Royals to end this one.
Lands the curveball at the top of the zone against Nick Lofton. He's got 3 right-handed hitters to face in Lofton, Lane Thomas, and Michael Garcia. To center, and playable for Garrett Mitchell. See him shield his eyes using the throwing hand. And no problem for Garrett Mitchell, who's been the man of the day for the Brewers. Always big to get that first batter out.
Yeah, big first out. Good job by Garrett Mitchell to kind of catch that one off to his left. You can tell that that sun is really bothering the fielders when it's caught to the right. The sun's more in coming down on the third base side.
Lane Thomas drove in the first Kansas City run of the day a couple of innings ago, a pinch hit RBI double. Curveball for a strike. 1-1 and a challenge.
That's a big
Batter challenge
right
and a strike
here
call.
for Trevor McGill, just to be able to land that curveball for strikes. Oh, just below.
There's the ball. The Royals have one challenge.
That curveball's got to be a really tough pitch for the umpire, right? I mean, as much as it moves,
it's got the velocity. We've seen it all the way up to 88, 89 miles per hour, and it moves so late.
So it's 2-0 and 3-0 on Lane Thomas. The thing about umpiring the curveball, it's got that vertical drop. The umpires don't have as much of a problem with getting the width of home plate. It's the height.
Right.
So it's the most difficult.
It's different for every hitter.
And a 4-pitch walk. Royals get a pulse. They need one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th.
That's something you want to do facing the top of this order for sure, with Miguel Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. looming on deck. Think about psychologically what that does, that overturned call to a pitcher, right? It went from 1-1 to 2-0, and then all of a sudden there's 2 more balls scattered around the zone for McGill.
There's a perfect fastball to start off Miguel Garcia. 0 for 3 with a walk this afternoon for the Royals stud third baseman. 2 strikes on Garcia. 2 good fastballs. 2 outs away from a 6-1 start to the season. And winning the opening road game of 2026. Just missed. Good pitch. Chad Patrick, 5 scoreless innings today. Set the table for the bullpen. Aaron Ashby then an inning and 2/3. Uribe was perfect for an inning and a third. And now it's McGill in the 9th. Got him swinging. 2 out.
It was 3 fastballs in a row, down and away to Miguel Garcia, and then this nasty breaking ball down and away. He will chase down and away. Contreras knew it. McGill executed it, and they got Garcia for a big second out.
It's especially important, and you pointed this out, because of who was due up next, Bobby Witt Jr. You didn't want him coming up with a chance to tie the game.
No, absolutely not.
Upstairs, ball 1. Drove in a run with an infield RBI single in that 7th inning. He is 1 for 3 with a walk. Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Vinny Pasquantino in the on-deck circle, hoping for a chance. 2-1. Brewers don't want him to walk into the batter's box again in this game. McGill hoping to end it right here. Two 2-1. Got it. That's a beautiful curve that's going to be challenged.
Batter's challenging the strike call.
Ryan Wills thought it hit the bottom of the zone. It did not.
Almost the exact same spot on the other call, overturned.
1 to Lane Thomas, 1 to Bobby Witt. So 3-1 instead of 2-2. Full count. Come right after him here, right?
Gotta let him, gotta go get him. You don't want to be bring the tying run up to the plate with a walk here.
Thomas will be off. 3-2. We'll do it again. Spoils the fastball.
What kind of information does that give you if you're William Contreras and Trevor McGill, that he's kind of waiting back a little bit, protecting against that hard curveball, the fact that he was late on that heater. You got to go heater again.
They did, and it's outside, and the tying run will come to the plate. So 2 walks in the 9th, and that'll bring up Pasquantino representing that tying run as Chris Hook comes to visit Trevor McGill.
Going over the scouting report right here for Vinny Pasquantino. He will chase to the back foot. You can live on that top rail against him. That fastball up in the zone, but he will chase down and in. Guy hammers mistakes over the middle of the plate. Be very careful. Live up in the zone against Pasquantino with the fastball.
It's 1 for 4 in this game. It was a single in the 6th inning against Aaron Ashby. 32 home run season a year ago for Vinny Pasquantino. Thomas and Witt have each walked here in the 9th inning. The Royals have 8 hits in this game. They've also now walked 6 times.
Very patient team. They make good strike zone decisions.
So McGill versus Pasquantino with a game in the balance, and he bounced in the curveball. No reason for either of the runners to risk advancing. The run that matters is the one that's standing in the batter's box. Pasquantino's 0 for 3 in his career against McGill. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Many of the fans on their feet. Big swing and a foul into the backstop. 1-2. Boy.
Believe it or not, Josh, that is the safety zone against Vinny Pasquantino, but he did have a big rip at it.
You know what was on his mind?
Yes.
1 more strike needed from Trevor McGill. 1-2. Out of play, left field side.
Wonder when they're going to try and go to that breaking ball below the zone again.
What's the risk of throwing the curveball?
Got to make sure that you bounce it. Try and get him to chase.
So you're thinking fastball up, curveball down?
Either one.
1-2 again. Fastball, got him looking. Ball game over. Oh, did he dot the outside corner, and that ends a 5-2 Brewers win. What a pitch by McGill.
No, you said it, Josh. What a big pitch by Trevor McGill. Starting this season 6-1 for the 7th time in team history, the first time since 2023. But now you could tell Vinny Pasquantino was thinking along with me and just totally got frozen on that fastball down and away. What a big pitch and a big first win, game 1 of this doubleheader, Josh.
Milwaukee scores 5 runs, all of them driven into the first 3 innings by Garrett Mitchell. And they hold on and win this game 5-2. Brewers post game follows next. We'll have some sound from Sophia. Vinny and I return right after these words.